Hey there, Jan Copeland. How are you? I had to pull over because I am going to do a Starbucks run for my family, and I left my house without my phone. So I had to go back and get my phone so that I could come here with you. This is my weekly Ultimate Unstoppable Agent training. And you're in my group. She's an unstoppable agent, so welcome. I'm glad you're here. The reason that I even created this group is because, hey Grace, is because it's on my heart to help you stop overworking, stop the heaviness that your business feels like, stop the self beating up, right? The self beating up, and really stop that train wreck and the self obsession. Stop it. You're an entrepreneur, and you didn't just give yourself another job to work, right? That's the thing. What's more important than feeling like you're checking off action items from a checklist is how deeply do you believe that your amazing success is inevitable. So whether you're making $20,000 a year, $200,000 a year, $2 million a year, doesn't really matter. There are 4 ways to make money that you need to focus on. You engage with people, you focus on them and pour into them, make offers to help them, and then wow them with your client experience. All right. So today the topic is, put my thing down. The topic is how, buyers are kind of feeling heavy, right? They feel heavy. It's like a burden, the burden of buyers, the buyer burden right now because of the market. Hi Vanessa, I want to share with you, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to alleviate the buyer burden, and in fact, love working with buyers, okay? I want to encourage you to have fun in your business. You have to have fun. You have to make it fun. Everybody talks about sustainability, right? Well, guess what? I want you to be sustained. I want you to be sustainable, and I want your business to be sustainable. And so if it's boring, hey Stephanie, if it's boring, you're not going to do it. So I want to start this with making it fun. Hi Betty. All right. So immediately, number 1 is you have to have standards. You have to have standards with who you're going to work with. You have to have a process that you put any buyer prospect into. They're not in charge. You're in charge. And why is that? Not because you want to be the boss, but because you're the expert. If you got a cancer diagnosis, you would call around and maybe have interviews with 2 or 3 oncologists, and each one of them would have a process to take you through. You wouldn't question it because they're the expert. And ladies, that's the point. Too many of you are still wasting time and energy not taking your buyers through a process, a tried and true process. And then you say, oh, these buyers are a pain in the butt. They're so exhausting. It's your fault. You're causing the trouble. So you need to be able to have standards. So what do I mean by that? Well, having a process. Every buyer has to have a buyer consult with you before you're showing a house. That's it. Hey, Sarah, thanks for joining me, right? You're going to have a process, and that process is going to be fun for you and for them, but it's proven because you know that the buyers that you've taken through the process, and right now, because I'm sharing this with you after having hundreds of coaching clients who actually listen and have a buyer process, they enjoy their buyers, and their buyers are not a pain, right? It's not a burden, all right? And it works. So it's fun and it works. All right. So let's get into the process. The actual process is, let's run through a scenario. Hey, Brenda. The scenario is ring-a-ling-a-ling. Somebody's calling. Hello, Jan Copeland with EXP. How can I help you? And they say, hi, yes, I would like to see 123 Main Street. And I'll say most agents will say, awesome. When would work well for you? No. And then they say what works well for them. And then you have something on your calendar, and now you have internal turmoil right from the get-go because you're going to try to, appease them, and you're starting off on a wrong foot. Okay? And you're going to say, oh, by the way, are you working with anyone? Weird question. Number one. Next question. Do you have a pre-approval? Weird question number two. You haven't even dialogued with this person. You don't even understand what they're trying to do. You have no idea. And so you're putting the cart before the horse. Absolutely. So here's how that call would go. Continuing. Fabulous. We want to see 123 Main Street. Give me a moment. I'm going to bring that up on my laptop or my phone. Let me ask you a quick question. How long have you been looking? Okay. This is your standards, ladies. You are asking, how long have you been looking? And then when they tell you, you say, oh, that's cool. Do you have a home where you're going? Let's say they're going to an out of state or something. So you're trying to really dig deeper to find out why they're moving. I'm sorry, they're buying. That's right. Okay, so they're buying. Okay. So do you have a house to sell? Or are you in a rental? Because you want to find out if they are in a lease, or if you could also get a listing, right? So you have to ask these questions. You don't just run out there and say, what works for you? Let's go. No. So then you say, okay, with COVID, as you could imagine, sellers are only allowing those qualified buyers in that price range to go into their home. So will you be paying cash for this purchase, or will you be securing a mortgage? Now that is a very professional question that does not put the prospective buyer on their heels, right? It does not. You're just asking a straight up question, being very reasonable, very logical, right? All right. And then, they'll say, I am getting a pre-approval, but I don't have it yet. And I don't have time to go into the entire consult. I really don't. But you get where I'm going with this, right? But I have an intake form. And if you'd like the intake form and you'd like to actually walk through the bio process in full, then I want you to put in the comments, include me, the words include me, because then I will do a special Zoom for you guys. It'll be like 20 minutes, okay? All right. But let's continue. What is your thought while you are using this process and while you are talking to a prospective buyer? Your thoughts are not about you. Your thoughts have nothing or should have nothing to do with you and everything to do with that person. Hey, Perlita. Hi, Jeanette. So you are thinking, how is this buyer feeling? Nervous? Excited? Anxious? Confused? And so as you are asking questions through this buyer intake, right, you are also taking notes, and you're actively listening for what they're saying. And you're not just going surface, right? You're going to go even deeper depending on how the conversation goes. And that's why I hate scripts, because everybody's different. And so it doesn't make sense to have a rote script. First of all, it's extremely salesy, and we don't want to be that. We want to be really inquisitive, come from a place of curiosity. So we listen, we don't talk. And then the next step is tell the lay of the land. Well, let me tell you about this market. Where are you coming from? Maybe they're coming from another market. And this is where you say, I'm the expert in this market. And what's happening now in this market is every home that is priced right and shows well is going under contract within days, if not sooner, going under contract for higher than list price, and whatever's going on in your market. It's a lay of the land, okay? And you need to lay that foundation after you ask those initial questions in the intake form, because they need to know what they're in for, right? It's called giving their proper expectations, because if you don't set those proper expectations, they're going to lose once or twice and move on from you because they think it's you if you're not honest with them, okay? So you give them the lay of the land, And you explain to them, after you share about the market, why you're the one they should work with. So you want to solidify that. All right. Then you give the prescription. You give the path to home ownership. So you tell them, okay, so with your pre-approval, I am able to show you 123 Main Street. And you know what? There's one more that I think you might be interested in. It's further out, but I think it's worth a shot. Let me explain, how this is going to work. And then you explain it. Like, I'll meet you at the first home, and then we'll go on to the second home. Wear your mask, whatever. But you are coming from a place of, oh my shirt. You're coming from a place of being the expert. Okay, you're the expert, all right? So you have to explain to them, this is how it's going to be. This is how we work together. And share with them that the average buyer now loses out on 2 houses before they get one. Like, just make sure they understand that that the escalation clauses are not a thing anymore, that they have to go all in. Okay. And then you explain some of the terms that are winning deals, which I'll go over with you in a minute. Okay. Next, what's included with that is sharing with them whether what they're looking for exists. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Faith. So, in the example of the oncologist, if you have stage 4 and the oncologist doesn't want to tell you that you have 3 months to live, it doesn't matter that it's going to hurt you. He has to tell you. He or she has to tell you. Okay? Likewise, you're a professional. If what they're telling you they want in that location at that price is not realistic, then it behooves you to tell them the truth, right? You got to tell them the truth. You're going to disappoint them now or later. You might as well make it now and not waste any time, okay? So, all right. Lastly, that is when you're working with buyers, to make it less of a burden, you want to stand out to the seller, okay? You want to stand out to the seller. And that starts when you make the showing appointment. You and the listing agent getting tight. Hey, what are the seller's preferred terms? Things of that sort. Also, when you come and show the house, bring flowers and leave them there with your business card. And say, thank you for letting us show your home. My client is super interested and would totally love to be the chosen buyer. Okay? So you go the extra mile for your buyer, not just in the terms of the contract, but also appealing to the seller. Okay. Now let's talk really quickly about, and one more thing about that. If you look at pictures and there's kids' bedrooms, the closest way to win over someone is bring something for their kids. So if you see like a little toddler's room, bring a coloring book and some crayons, and believe me, that mom will be like, oh my gosh, that's so fun, right? So cool. All right. So there are a lot of different terms to win with buyers. But I'm just going to share with you a couple. Number 1, non-refundable earnest money. Absolutely make it non-refundable. Why would that even be a concern of your buyer if your buyer really wants the house? Boom, right? Next, talk with a listing agent about seller preferred terms. Many times they'll tell you what it's going to take. All right. Free rent back. Okay. Give the seller a quick close. 3 or 4 weeks, no longer, right? And then allow them to rent back for a time, okay? That's a win-win-win. It gives the seller more time to get out. It allows the buyer to be like, shoo, I got it done, and win. And it allows you to get paid, okay? All right, next, to offer to pay the seller's closing costs and or the seller's moving expenses up to $3,000. So in the contract, under other terms, you would write, purchasers agree to pay $3,000 toward seller's closing costs / moving expenses. How awesome is that? Right? It's not always about sales price, right? So imagine you're the seller, right? This is what you have to paint the picture for your buyer, right? We're inspirational. And you say, so you get 15 offers, and some are going to be the same price. How do you differentiate? Well, let's throw in some new terms. which is what I just gave you. All right. So the first step is have a process that you're willing to follow. And even if some buyers say, I just want to see the house, and you will not do that, don't act like you lost something. Because guess what? 99% of them that, quote, just want to see the house ain't buyers. They're not buyers. And so instead of thinking I lost something, here's what you think. Yay, I just saved myself gas and time and money, right? Because gas costs money and time is money. So you have that standard process. And, you ask questions, the intake form, you listen, you don't talk. You give them the lay of the land. What's it like to work with you? What's it like to buy a home in this marketplace? You give the prescription or the path to home ownership. And then you stand out with the seller, allowing your buyers to win. Boom. And I just want to reiterate that you create the experience for yourself and your client and your buyer. So if you're drained, the buyer's probably drained. So stop it. Make it fun. How can you insert some fun? I don't know. But go to Hobby Lobby or Walmart and buy a gas balloon tank, and take balloons and say, hey, take these home to your kids, if they're a buyer. If they have a dog, give them some dog treats in a cute little bag that's in your brand. Look, you have to make this fun, isn't it? Like, this is why you're an entrepreneur. You want to be self-employed. But I don't really like the word self-employed. Self-employed to me is like you gave yourself a job. Instead, I love the word entrepreneur because you create your day. You create your day. Isn't that exciting and empowering? Stop trying to be like everybody else. Right? Everybody else. If you're trying to be like everybody else, then just stay home. You're not going to stand out. You have to be yourself. So, in closing, okay, I hope this has been helpful. No more buyer burden. No more buyer burden. If the buyer's a burden, you're a burden. Okay? You're the reason. So what can you do to make it fun? All right? Follow a process. If you want a little mini training on my exact process more in detail, right? Include me in the comments down here, and I'll get back with you. All right? And by the way, if you are ready to stop grinding it and you would rather be strategic and have fun, insert fun into your business, then chat with me. Chatwithjan.com. Chatwithjan.com. As I leave you, I'm going to share with you something. I just had a retreat last week in my club here where I live in Virginia. And it was such an experience. It was such an experience for me and for the ladies that were there. And I just want to reiterate that nothing beats face-to-face. Not one thing. In human face-to-face, human one-to-one, shoulder-to-shoulder. Zoom is okay. Zoom is better than not, okay? But being together, I feel so much closer, and I already felt close to so many, right? All the women that came. Only two that I didn't know before the event. But I just want to share with you that you have past clients. You have people in your sphere. Can you please go wow them? Can you decide what to do and then go do it and not spend so much time planning and making it perfect? The perfection plan is exhausting. Instead, go execute. Get out. Get yourself dressed and get out and go meet people. I don't care. Go to the grocery store, put your card on or your pin on and just go. Remember, you want to engage with people. All right. I hope this Ultimate Unstoppable Agent training has been beneficial. Again, chatwithjan.com if you want to consider hiring me as your coach. And if you want in on my mini training to go a little deeper on my buyer process so that you can alleviate the burden and make it actually fun and productive and increase your conversion rate, then include me. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.